Last weekend, we once again had a Springfest, this time in California, so let's go over some of the results and analyze how the meta is shaping up. If you still need a beautiful deck box, you can go to zerodamagegaming.com and use the code Solemn for a discount. We also have beautiful playmats. Once again, you can use the code Solemn for a discount for that as well. And of course, don't forget the Vanguard Mastery course if you want to up your Vanguard skills. All of the links will be in the description down below, and the code Solemn always gives you a discount. You can also go to 50cards.shop if you still need cards and use the code Solemn for a discount. So shout out to Fuzzy Paradox, of course, for the graphs right here. We see standards top 4, and the first place team is basically like, this is the perfect team. This is the meta. Welcome to meta. We have Chronojet, Youthberg, and Eva. Youthberg was basically like the best decks from the previous meta, you know, December or so. And then, of course, also Worlds, you know, it won Worlds. Then we have Chronojet, the new kid on the block. The amazing Stride deck set came out and just instantly took over everything. And then we have Eva, which together with the promo is just an insane powerhouse. Second place, we see Overlord, Chronojet, and Eva. Once again, Chronojet and Eva, like, those are the powerhouses. And then Overlord, yeah, still really solid deck. Even during Worlds meta, I thought Overlord and Youthberg and Lutetia were like the decks. So it makes a lot of sense. Speaking of Lutetia, third place, we also have Eva, Chronojet, and then Lutetia. So basically every third place team realized, okay, I guess we need Jet and Eva, and then the third spot can be, you know, whichever one from the previous meta. So yeah, also their team name is Based Department, which is pretty funny, so congrats. And then finally, fourth place Vector, we have Chronojet, Youthberg, and Overlord, which is basically, we got the Jet, we don't have the money for Eva, and so now we just need to take, you know, the other good decks from previous format, boop, and we have a team. As you can see, all these teams basically share a bunch of the same decks. Like, Jet is on everyone, Eva is on almost everyone, Youth is on 2 of them, Overlord is on 2 of them. The only really original one, I guess, is the Lutetia there, but Lutetia is really strong as well. So that is it for Standard. And then for V, we have some wild results. In first place, we have Malkuth Melik. What's going on there? I seem to recall Malkuth also having a top like 2 weeks ago or so in BRO or something. I wonder if it's the same person. Then we have Steam Maiden, of course. We have Luard. And then on the second place team, we also have Steam Maiden, of course. We have Astral Poets together with Glory Maelstrom. Third place, we have Altmile with Chaos and Tavas. That team has some explaining to do. And then fourth place, we have Steam Maiden, Leopold, and Astral Poets. I think that fourth place team is looking pretty strong, actually. Like, that's a good lineup. Some really odd decks in this one, for sure. You can probably argue for each of these, except for Malkuth and Altmile. These people have some explaining to do, but it ended up getting the top, so congratulations. Really cool to see. And then for Premium, what happened? So the first place team has Highlander and Steam Maiden, which is completely understandable. Highlander, Steam Maiden, you know, those are probably going to be on most hyper-competitive teams. Then we have Tavas. Okay, you know, again, I called that right before Worlds, the top 5 premium decks. In my opinion, Tavas was definitely a strong one because it has one of the strongest ride-down games, basically. So when it comes up against Steam Maiden, Nightmare Dolls, Highlander, and so forth, it might actually win the ride-down. The second place team, we have Gredora, Spikes, and the Leaders. So the Leaders, of course, uses Given to then do restands on a new premium collection Stride, and that way have, like, I say new, but that is ages ago, and that way do like a bunch of multi-attack, a really scary turn. But before that, it doesn't really do that much. Now in Spikes, really solid deck. We also saw it get 4th place at Worlds. And then Gredora is such a weird pick to me. Like, I play this deck, I have it almost max rarity, I love playing this deck, but every single time I go up against Highlander, I just think, like, what am I doing with my life? So I don't know, like, it can really counter some of the best decks, but then it gets completely annihilated by the others, I feel. It'll be interesting. Maybe we should check out some lists after this. Yeah, let's check out some lists right after this. And then third place Plot Armor, we have Regalia. Okay, still a solid deck. Great Nature, we're gonna check out that list as well. Spikes, again, I do think Spikes is still strong. And then the fourth place Wholesome Nexus Boys, so I'm assuming that's Nexus Corps. Congratulations. We have another Gredora, a Steam Maiden, and a Gold. That is some wild team lineups. That is really wild. So I think we should check out some of the lists. I'm just confused. So we first see the Gredora deck, hashtag Gredora for Standard. So I'm assuming this is a Mega Colony fan. We see one of the Usurp Dragon thing, which is really weird because this deck doesn't rewrite as much anymore as like back when we had the book order thing. interesting, but okay. Maybe they just wanted the resources. We have Scissors for the multi-attack. We have the Dark Phase because you can search it and then you can search anything. Then we have whatever its name is, Hell Demise, basically like a free multi-attack extender. We have 4 Gridora Original. This I really like. I actually swapped to the original Gridora as well a while ago because I was like, riding up in this ride-up meta with V Gridora is super fun because it's like a shit Mordred, and shit Mordred is better than everything else. But being able to lock down a column of Steam Maiden is like, oh, the nut. Or also like locking down a column of Spikes. So I was really interested in trying that out because it is a pretty solid meta call into those decks at least. And again, against Highlander, I think you're just practically scooping anyway. So you might as well take your auto wins against the other ones. So that's why I really agree with that. And then we have this one. I haven't really tested with this card yet, but I do see it in quite some lists. So I do think it's like required. I hate Stamping Red personally. I think Giraffe is just a better card. Then again, if you're not really grade 2 gaming as much anymore, maybe not. But then again, Giraffe on the Grandora turns is just so crazy. But maybe you don't have a CB anymore. That's definitely possible. This card, however, is fucking nuts. This card is the reason that Mega Colony is even a deck right now, I think. Like, once they lost the whole book thing, that deck just got so much worse. But then they got this, and suddenly the deck is, like, playable again. It's just... You have to read it on your own time. It's just a mad card. Class Moth, Brilliant Blister. Oh, this is pretty spicy. This basically is, like, an anti-stand type of deal. So this together with the grade 4 Gridora is, like, a solid ride-up. Okay, I can see it. And then 1 Honolly. I guess because you have Cradle markers, you can search it out. Overall, solid list. Okay, we'll compare this to the other Mega Colony list and see what they were thinking. Then the other deck right here. This was a 3rd place Great Nature, and the name is Solemn's Big Belly. Okay, I hope that's referring to the grade 3 and nothing else. But we have 2 Rhino because it's still like your best attacker. We have 4 Big Belly, the V Big Belly, which is of course your best ride, and then 1 G Big Belly as your multi-attack extender, 4 Gridora, 4 Spool Mary, which is the only reason this card, like this deck exists, and then 4 Candelaria. Yeah, this looks a lot like my list actually. Okay, I guess that's the reference then. So we have only 2, oh no, yeah, only 2 of this mini belly. I suppose they were afraid of misriding, which is a very, very fair thing to be afraid of, and that's why they play like 2 of the G mini belly to try and get rid of like Rhino or bad big bellies and get yourself the correct belly. That's fair enough. I personally really like this to be able to also find Rhino and belly, but I mean, you have Mike Saburo, so you know, who cares. This PG is nuts. Like, this PG is the only reason I would play Great Nature right now. It's just so free. I wish I could play this in literally every deck in the game. That's how good it is. 2 Honolly because you can cheat it out. Good meta call. I think in my deck profile I also mentioned how Rollock kind of sucked and I wish it was a Honolly. So I guess they listened. I mean, if it's Solemn's Big Belly, I'm gonna assume they watched the deck profile. The rest of the list looking solid. Also playing the vanilla crits as they should be. I'm assuming they play a Cyclone. There it is. There they have the Cyclone to flip it up, have a bigger booster. Looking good. Congrats on your 3rd place. Great Nature represent right here. And then we have the Gridora list. So this one taking a very different approach to the other Gridora list. This one is still playing the V Gridora. I'm not really sure what is actually better. Like, this being able to just ride up and have a turn is really solid because, well, you kind of need a good ride up now. I just don't know which one is better. They also decide to play 2 of this instead of Intrude Scissors, so I guess they don't have Soul. And then we have the exact same grade 2 lineup, which is interesting. So maybe this is now the call currently because we're no longer grade 2 gaming. This Moth thing is interesting. Haven't seen that. It's a free Soul Charge. This is weird. Do you search it? I guess you search it and then you Soul Charge. 4 of this. We haven't seen that before. Together with the Cradles. And then 1 of the Brilliant Blister. But what are you even stopping from restanding this format? Oh, I think Spikes. Yeah, that's pretty good actually. You have like a bunch of Cradle support. You just search this and then you nuke Spikes. Okay, I like it. And everything else is pretty standard. That is basically the meta-analysis for this week. We had California. Really spicy decks, I feel, in the premium side this time. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Be sure to pick up your beautiful playmats and deck boxes at zerodowngame.com and pick up your cards at 50cards.shop. Use the code Solemn everywhere, and I will see you soon. Ciao.